All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what's been going on. So normally I would have had a whole lot of videos out this last week, you know, covering like the AMD, covering, you know, like PC stuff. But we had I had an issue with my AMD 7900 XTX that I bought. So I ended up just RMAing that, sending that out. I got a new one. This one's working perfectly fine. No problems at all. Good freaking, good temperatures. No lights over the PCIe ports. It's running smoothly, really good, you know, hotspot temperatures, everything like that. We're right around like 76 or something on those. Definitely within a 15 degree delta or whatever between the regular temperatures, the GPU temperatures, and the hotspot temperatures. Everything's been running pretty fine. I haven't had a whole lot of time to sit in here and really play around with that due to the fact that I've been doing a lot of sim racing content lately this last week or so, and my friends, that's only going to extend into next week and probably consume a lot of next week's content as well. You know, I got Thrustmaster sending me out some stuff to look to review for them, and that's pretty big for the channel, my friends. That's pretty big for a company like Thrustmaster to finally, you know, recognize the channel. That's amazing, and I'm truly grateful to every one of you that has that subscribes to the channel, that watches the channel. If you know, with sim racing, I actually started out on Thrustmaster, and I started out with a T150. So so I mean, I tried their T80 or whatever too. So I've pretty much tried, you know, like the low end of Thrustmaster products, and so we're going to be testing out the T128 and the T248. Both of those wheels are said to be better than the T150. And if you guys have noticed recently, I've been covering some wheel setups from PXN. I want to do my very best to communicate the best entry-level sim racing equipment for you. And if you guys haven't seen lately, I've been covering, you know, multiple sim racing cockpits from Next Level Racing, which I stand by completely. Next Level Racing is awesome. A little bit pricey, and definitely, you know, sometimes a little bit more pricey than what you can see over on Amazon if you're out there looking for sim racing equipment or sim racing cockpits. But in my experience with Next Level Racing, my friends, I can easily recommend their products over the majority of stuff that's on there. That's the thing about sim racing, man. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of people out there trying to cash in on the craze of sim racing and stuff like that. And I just want to caution people. I'm not saying that you have to buy Next Level Racing just because I'm using it and Next Level Racing has sent me out their equipment, but I have bought some of that cheaper stuff, my friends. I've spent my money on that. And you know, you just want to be careful. You do, because buying shoddy equipment really could make or break that experience for you. I mean, all of it is essentially, you know, like usable. I mean, at the prices there, but I mean, you want something that is going to deliver an experience that you're going to appreciate. And if your first experience is getting something and trying to put it together and the screw holes don't line up and the threads are stripped out and things just don't go together, there's not enough, you're missing pieces, it's gonna affect the overall experience to the point where obviously you're gonna learn from it. You're gonna learn from it, definitely. But at the end of the day, you're like, oh, wait a minute, like, how is this, like, and then it just kind of puts a bad taste in your mouth for sim racing going forward. You start to develop a callous, you know, attitude towards things, and then pretty soon you find yourself just into higher end brands when you could have just skipped a lot of that and just got something good, and it had, you know what I mean, like it performed and it did good. Now, I'm pretty excited about this T2, the T128 and the T248. T128 is supposed to be 20% stronger than the T150 that I have initially got into sim racing with. And then the T248 is 70% stronger than that. So these should be very competitive entry-level experiences, especially when I compare it to the PXN offerings that I have, and I will compare it to the 8 Newton meter, well, at least the 5 Newton meter. I'll knock the power down on the Fanatec a little bit, and we'll see, because if I look back and I remember the experience that I had with Gran Turismo Sport on the PlayStation, that T150 was actually pretty good. Like that belt-driven system for track racing. I have zero issues with belt-driven systems on track racing games. I need to make that perfectly clear. And I think I've said that before in multiple videos, that those absolutely feel incredible. Now, my biggest thing with the belt-driven wheels is when I play rally racing. Those ones usually are the ones that, like, it's for me, it's a lot more finicky, whereas direct drive actually provides a better experience for those on me. But I mean, if you're on tarmac in rally racing, then the belt driven wheels are good. But for some reason, I always just had this like top wobble dead zone type deal where I just didn't feel like I had any control at top dead center on the steering when it came to those other types of wheels. But we're gonna test the T248 on that. We're gonna test the T128 on that, and that's obviously gonna lead to more sim racing content next week. But I also was able to secure my PSVR2 PC adapter, which should be here within, hopefully by the end of the week. I would really like to cover that by the end of this week and through the weekend, or early next week, so that you will be covering that with the Thrustmaster products. So I'm basically just in waiting for all of that. So today we're probably going to return to more of the like PC focused content. Maybe I'll do some stuff on the 7900 XTX, run some benchmarks, stuff like that, and just kind of see how that's going. There's people out there asking for some Dying Light 2. I think I might throw some Dead Island 2 in there as well with this card. I've 100% like not necessarily committed to the AMD ecosystem, but I like it. I like it, my friends. It does everything I need it to do. It helps me. Like I appreciate what AMD does for gaming a lot more than what I get out of the NVIDIA brand. Like NVIDIA is fine, but I just, I prefer AMD, and that's cool. I mean, like it's nice for me to be able to prefer, and I don't feel, guys, I don't feel like I'm leaving anything on the table by going with AMD over NVIDIA. I don't. I feel more like I'm losing features when I go with NVIDIA over AMD. And I don't feel like I'm getting enough in return when it comes to things like ray tracing or path tracing or DLSS or anything like that. Maybe if I was playing the majority on 4K, maybe that would be a different story, because when it comes to DLSS on 4K, that's probably that would probably be my pick, as to wanting to play on 4K all the time. But seeing as I rock 1440p, I don't run into that problem ever on AMD. Like AMD always looks fine. I've got enough power with XTX to usually run everything at native 1440p, and then games that will push into 4K natively, I still run that. I'm able to downsample. You guys have heard the spiel a million times with the whole VSR this and VSR that. These are technologies that are designed for, if you buy that higher end card, you get to utilize, some of these features. Even with the lower end cards, and throughout this whole 7000 series of NVIDIA GPUs, I've had very favorable experiences with virtual super resolution, being able to run at 4K downsample, I mean, even the 7600 XT was fairly decent for some of those games. If you use FSR with virtual super resolution, you can easily do that and still downsample and still get pretty dang good image quality. So like I said, guys, I don't feel like I'm at a disadvantage with AMD. I feel like AMD offers a different, more compelling experience versus what NVIDIA does for me. Whereas, you know, NVIDIA offers NVIDIA offers a quality experience at 4K gaming. I think they do. And I'm not saying that AMD is bad at 4K. You can easily run and do 4K gaming on the 7900 XTX with the majority of the games. Like, you can run a lot of stuff at 4K. Like some of all the PlayStation games that are coming out, you can usually run those at native 4K. No problems with that. Those are usually pretty decent games. And I do utilize 4K every once in a while on this card. It's just that that's not my main output for this GPU or for what I'm trying to do and what the experience I'm trying to get with gaming. So I don't necessarily need like that 4K, like the DLSS or anything. I do like DLSS a little bit better on 4K. I do. I mean, that's obvious. But at the end of the day, AMD's FSR is still pretty decent at 4K. Especially if you're coming from a console, dude, you're never gonna tell. Like, you'll be like, oh my gosh, man. Yeah. Sorry that this turned into an AMD video, but I do got some AMD stuff planned for later tonight. I want to do some more content because they're actually giving away Space Hammer and freaking that new Awaken #9 or whatever if you buy a GPU. I always seem to miss out on those deals. I never actually get those, so so that kind of sucks, man. I always just am buying my stuff when I want it because I don't ever let sales dictate when I buy something that I want to buy. Except unless it's this camera that I'm shooting on, the Sony FX30, which is an incredible camera. I'm still learning that. I'm still trying to get that figured out. But overall, guys, I think that yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm looking forward to next week. Definitely have some more sim racing content planned for throughout the next few weeks. We're probably going to make. Definitely going to be working some of that back in over the course of the over the channel and stuff, because I'm not going to be doing the whole GPU versus GPU stuff anymore. So I have to find something to fill that content. You know, it's going to be mainly focused on AMD and what AMD does. Sim racing, obviously, some of the other stuff that I do, the product reviews, things like that. I need to diversify and kind of move away from the whole PC thing, because that is getting very expensive, and I just don't think that I'm going to be able to keep up with that going forward. I need to focus that time and that effort and that money into things that are actually that I'm actually more passionate about. I've spent the last year playing around with both AMD and NVIDIA, and AMD is the one that I chose to go with. So, I mean, I put a lot of work into it, guys. I did. I put a lot of work. I put a lot of money into it, and I'm satisfied with AMD, and I love that. So, all right, my friends, if you guys like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.